Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James, and it is many thanks for joining us. Quickly look at the news making the rounds for today. INEC awaits Buhari's nod on e-transmission of results. ICJ rules in favor of Somalia in Kenya border dispute. U.S. to reopen Mexico-Canada borders for fully vaccinated travelers. Subsidies encourage overuse of fuel, says World Bank president. Wildrum drops Okobi, invites Oshola, 22 orders for Ghana clash. Do well to stay with us as we bring you the news and details just right after this time out. Welcome back, and now the news info. INEC awaits Buhari's nod on e-transmission of results. The Senate has approved direct primaries for aspirants to all elective positions. This was just as it empowered the Independent National Electoral Commission to determine the procedure for the transmission of results during the general elections. The amendments were made by the Senate to some clauses of the Electoral Act bill passed on July 15, 2021. In its reaction, INEC says that although it had the capacity to transmit elections results electronically, it could only adopt the method after President Muhammadu Buhari had signed amendments to Electoral Act. Justifying its U-turn on electronic transmission of results, the Senate explained that its decision to subject of amended clauses of the bill to recommittal was reached after a critical examination by the Senate Committee on INEC. The chamber added that some fundamental issues which required fresh legislative actions were observed by the Senator Kabiru Gaya-led INEC committee in the bill. The upper chamber in Clause 52 of the Electoral Act bill passed almost 3 months ago had approved that the Commission INEC may consider the electronic transmission of results provided the national coverage is adjudged to be adequate and secure by the National Communications Commission and approved by the National Assembly. However, the Senate amended the clause when the bill was subjected to recommittal to provide that subject to Section 63 of this bill, voting at an election and transmission of results under this bill shall be in accordance with the procedure determined by the Commission. The Senate, in approving direct primaries for political parties, amended Clause 87, which earlier allowed for either direct or indirect primaries. Clause 87 has to do with nomination of candidates by parties. And moving forward, Lagos won't be sanctuary for criminal elements, says CP Odumosu. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, CP Hakeem Odumosu, says no part of the state will be used as a sanctuary for criminal elements. This is as he reiterated the command's commitment to policing the waterways in the state. Odumosu gave the reassurance during a security assessment tour to Takwa Bay, Ilashe, Igbologun, and other riverine areas suspected to be used as criminal hideouts. The security assessment was part of his determined efforts in making the state safe for all law-abiding citizens and a no-go area for criminals. According to a statement by the state government, the work tour was informed by the need to further fortify the waterways following recent incidents of kidnapping in the state. Accompanied by senior police officers from the Marine Police Unit and other tactical commanders for a show of force on water during the security assessment, the Commissioner of Police used the opportunity to inspect police operational facilities in the area with a view to repositioning them for optimal performance. The CP therefore warns criminals infiltrating the state through the waterways to commit heinous crimes to have a change of heart or be prepared to meet their Waterloo. In another development, federal government to secure 104 unity schools with 1.2 billion naira. The federal government has earmarked 1.2 billion naira in the 2022 appropriation bill to provide security infrastructures in the nation's 104 unity schools. This is contained in the bill currently before the National Assembly. Fewer than 1,421 school children have been abducted between December 2020 and September 2021, with a total of 8 students kidnapped from the federal government college Birni Yari in Kebbi State over 118 days ago. However, the budget appropriation stated that a total of 1.2 billion naira had been allocated for the provision of security infrastructure in 104 unity colleges, perimeter fencing, solar street lights, solar-powered motorized borehole, and CCTV. Meanwhile, the United Nations Children Emergency Fund has expressed concerns over the failure of the federal government to rescue abducted students still in captivity, says the chief of UNICEF Field Office, Kano, who also oversees Sokoto and other northern western states, Maulid Wafa. UNICEF reiterates that attacks on schools and abduction of learners are a gross violation of children's rights and a horrific experience for children to go through, one which could have long-lasting effects on their mental health and well-being. And now bringing you news stories from around Africa, ICJ rules in favor of Somalia in Kenya border dispute. The World Court, also known as the International Court of Justice, has ruled largely in favor of Somalia in its dispute with Kenya, setting a sea boundary in part of the Indian Ocean. The new boundary drawn by the International Court of Justice mostly followed a line proposed by Somalia, attributing to it several offshore oil blocks claimed by Kenya. The court found that Kenya, which did secure some territory beyond the Somalia proposal, had failed to prove that there was an established sea boundary between the states, which would have given it a greater portion of the disputed territory. Kenya previously accused the International Court of Justice of bias and said it will not accept the ruling. The case concerned a 38,000 square mile triangle in the Indian Ocean that is thought to be rich in oil and gas. The dispute has been at the heart of a diplomatic row between the two East African neighbors. The revised maritime border along the exclusive economic zones for the continental shelves of Somalia and Kenya achieves an equitable solution, says George Joan Dinogwe. The ruling comes after Nairobi last week said it had revoked recognition of the court's jurisdiction. No one for Kenya was officially present, either in court or via video link. Now, still from around Africa, Somalia appeals to collaboration with Kenya after court's ruling. Somalia's president says in a speech that the ICJ's ruling on the border dispute with Kenya is an opportunity for the two countries to collaborate. President Farmajo spoke after the ICJ ruled in favor of Somalia, handing it control over a potentially rich area of the Indian Ocean. Kenya should instead see the decision of the court as an opportunity to strengthen the relationship of the two countries and the collaboration of their neighboring people. Somalia did not choose to be a neighbor with Kenya, but it was the will of the Almighty God, so that they are forced to live as peaceful neighbors. Somalia was committed to that forever and welcomes it now, says President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed, known as Farmajo. In the Somalia capital, Mogadishu, the decision was greeted with satisfaction by many after a legal battle that lasted for 7 years. Before the announcement of the court's decision, Kenya accused the court of being biased and refused to acknowledge its authority. Right now, we're taking a break, and when we return, we shall be bringing you news updates from the United States. Do well to stay with us.
What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
Welcome back. U.S. to reopen Mexico-Canada borders for fully vaccinated travelers. The U.S. says it will reopen its borders with Mexico and Canada to fully vaccinated travelers from November. In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security says it will allow travel for non-essential purposes via land and ferry crossings. From January 2022, it will also require proof of vaccination for any travel over these crossings, essential or not. The U.S. has restricted travel from its northern and southern neighbors since March 2020 due to COVID pandemic, but President Joe Biden's administration recently revealed that restrictions on fully jabbed air travelers would be eased in November. The current rule bars entry to most non-U.S. citizens who have been to the U.K., China, India, South Africa, Iran, Brazil, and a number of European countries within the last 14 days. In a statement, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says his department was pleased to be taking steps to resume regular travel in a safe and sustainable manner, but he did not say when the changes would come into effect. Last week, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said all visitors must receive vaccines approved or recognized for emergency use by the World Health Organization. And the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, at present vaccines developed by Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna have been approved in the U.S. The WHO has also supported these three, along with others made by AstraZeneca, Oxford, Sinopharm, and Sinovac. I'm bringing you more updates, and from Colombia, Havana syndrome reported at U.S. Embassy in Colombia. U.S. officials are investigating possible cases of Havana syndrome illness in Colombia days before a visit by the Secretary of State, U.S. media says. U.S. Embassy staff in Bogota may have been injured by the mysterious illness, which causes a painful sound in the ears, fatigue, and dizziness. First reported in Cuba in 2016, U.S. diplomats around the world have since reported cases of the syndrome. Its origins are unknown, with some speculating it is a type of weapon. The Wall Street Journal first reported that emails sent by U.S. Ambassador to Colombia, Philip Goldberg, confirmed a number of unexplained health incidents, or UHIs, the term used for Havana syndrome by the U.S. government since mid-September. Colombian President Ivan Duque told the New York Times that the country is investigating the reports. He added that the U.S. is leading the inquiry. Americans who have been hit by Havana syndrome have described an intense and painful sound in their ears. Some of the estimated 200 affected have been left with dizziness and fatigue for months. More than half of those impacted were CIA employees, according to the Times. And now we bring you news stories from the world of business. Subsidies encourage overuse of fuel, says World Bank President. The president of the World Bank Group, David Malpass, has called against fossil fuel subsidies, urging that subsidized fossil fuels encourage overuse of fuels. He says this at the 6th ministerial meeting of Coalition of Finance Ministers for Climate Action. A copy of his remarks was published on the bank's website. It says G20 countries had channeled $3.3 trillion into fuel subsidies since 2015, calling against fossil fuel subsidies. Also, recent analysis by Bloomberg shows that G20 countries have funneled $3.3 trillion into fossil fuel subsidies since 2015. Fossil fuels tend to be subsidized both explicitly and implicitly through tax exemptions. If the use of fossil fuels continues to be subsidized despite its impact on greenhouse gas emissions, it encourages individuals and firms to continue to overuse such fuels. The longer such subsidies remain in place, the more the economy adapts to their existence and the greater the political obstacles and economic disruptions caused by their removal. It's critical for finance ministers everywhere to take a hard look at their fossil fuel subsidy regimes. He also called for appropriate carbon pricing and better linkage between climate commitments. Still on business, EU to review new proposal on Northern Ireland Protocol. The EU is set out proposals later to address the row about trade in Northern Ireland. The UK wants to change the deal struck as part of Brexit process to allow goods to circulate more freely between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It says the current rules impose too many barriers to the sale of chilled meats and other products. The EU proposals, which it calls far-reaching, are expected to involve reduced checks on goods and medicines. Under the current arrangement, a hard border on the island of Ireland is avoided by keeping Northern Ireland in the EU's single market for goods. But it creates a new trade border with Great Britain, which Unionists says undermines their place in the UK. We'll be taking a break, and when we return, it shall be news stories from the world of sports. We'll be right back.
What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet. What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
Welcome back, and now it's news stories from the world of sports. An Alcon Wild Drum drops Okobi, invites Oshoala, 22 others for Ghana clash. Midfielder Ngozi Okobi is the notable absentee as captain at CSAT Oshoala, and Desire Okparanozie top a list of 23 women's squad invited by Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum for Morocco 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations qualifying fixtures against the Black Queens of Ghana on October 20th and 24th. The Nigerian squad will arrive in Lagos on Sunday. Nine-time African champions Falcons host the Ghanaians at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Lagos on October 20th before the trip to Accra 4 days later for the reverse fixture. The winners over 2 legs will join host Morocco and 10 other countries for the 12th Women Africa Cup of Nations next year summer. Nigeria and Ghana clashed in the final match of the inaugural Women's Africa Cup of Nations in 1998, with the Falcons winning 2-0. However, both strong stallions in the African women football race cars have been drawn to play each other for one slot at the next edition in the summer of 2022 in Morocco. In another sports news, and finally on News Desk, Denmark qualified for 2022 World Cup. Denmark locked up their place in next year's World Cup when they overcame stubborn Austrian resistance to win 1-0 in Copenhagen. The victory, thanks to Joachim Mahil's second half goal, kept the Danes 7 points ahead of Scotland, with eked out a late 1-0 win in the Faroe Islands with 2 rounds to go. Denmark reached the semi-finals of Euro 2020 in July before losing to England in extra time. Since then, they have won all 4 of their World Cup qualifiers. Roared on by home crowd, Denmark attacked from the kick-off. Austria, weakened by injury and chastened by a 4-0 thrashing when the two teams met in Vienna in March, were content to defend and attempt to strike on the counter-attack. The Danes dominated the first half, but Austrian goalkeeper Daniel Bacham acrobatically turned away their best efforts from Andres Skov Osland and Mikkel Damsgaard. The home team broke through early in the second half. Thomas Delaney collected the ball near halfway, accelerated into space, and then swerved across the top of the penalty area, drawing 4 defenders before sliding a pass to wingback Mahil. The Atlanta player drove the ball past Beckham at the near post. The Danes attacked with less urgency after taking the lead, but the Austrians failed to mortar a shot on goal over the 90 minutes. After 8 qualifying matches, the Danes still have not conceded a goal and joined Germany among the early qualifiers for next year's showpiece. And that's the size of the news for today from News Desk on Celebration TV. But in case you missed out, here's a recap of the headlines. INEC awaits Buhari's Northern e-transmission of results. ICJ rules in favor of Somalia in Kenya border dispute. U.S. to reopen Mexico-Canada borders for fully vaccinated travelers. Subsidies encourage overuse of fuel, says World Bank president. Wild Drum drops a Kobe, invites Oshoala, 22 orders for Ghana clash. And now to the photo of the day. Clearly, we have an image depicting 2 actions, one showing you the challenge, the problem at hand, and the other showing you a resolution, an attempt being made to have it solved, to have it fixed. So this shows, and this goes a long way to tell you that no matter what it is in life that you're faced with, you should focus on the solution and not the problem. We also want to hear your thoughts on the photo of the day, so do well to get back to us via our social media platforms. On Facebook, Celebration TV; on Instagram, My Celebration TV; on Twitter at My Celebration TV; and on YouTube, Celebration TV. Now, your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed, has backed his ways to success. So be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. So be a part of nation building. Today, I am Comfort James, and it is many thanks for watching.
Amounted to 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross of
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.